Good evening. Welcome to tonight's regularly scheduled council meeting. If you'll all please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's invocation will be given by Pastor John Martin. He's the family pastor at Celebration Church.
Let us bow our heads. Lord Jesus, we're just so grateful that we can gather together. Lord, we're grateful for this great community that you've made us all a part of. And Father, as we begin this meeting, we pray that your peace would be here. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. And Father, we pray that your will would be done. Father, that we would look past our own selves. We would look past maybe our own agendas or anything that we came in with a thought about. And God, we would do what's best for this community so that it can even be greater than what it already is. Father, we thank you for it. I pray that wisdom, that knowledge, that discretion would be felt in this place, and we would move forward as a community together in unity. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Martin. First item on tonight's agenda will be to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting, the work session, and the agenda meetings that were held on the 9th of March. Council members, do you have any additions, changes, deletions to these minutes? Okay.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Make a motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, minutes are approved. Mayor Wilson, your report, please.
Okay. Many are here to find out about the Fly Creek lawsuit. I do not have a vote on this, but most of you know where I stand, and I don't think the development is in line with Fairhope's character. But more importantly, given the sensitive watershed in the area proposed for these apartments, the drainage design for which the city council approved was changed by the developer, and I brought this to the attention of the planning commission, which resulted in a denial. I also stated that the city had to be in a lawsuit. I'd rather it be to protect the citizens and our environment rather than a developer. With all of that said, the bigger picture now is to work with developers from the beginning to develop our city in a way that is in line with a vision. During this moratorium, we are gathering the very best practices in responsible growth. Wayne and his team will use these principles to evaluate our planning ordinances, keeping in mind that citizens want to be protected and the city, our unique character, protected. I also want to give a statement regarding the Baldwin County sewer system. I had our attorney draft a letter which was mailed December 10th, reminding Baldwin County Sewer that the agreement that was in place for 10 years expires by July. In February, I asked our attorney to follow up with them, which he did. When asked if we were willing to work with them on the deadline, he said, "We are willing to meet." Understand, Baldwin County Sewer is a private company. The city has been subsidizing this agreement for its customers for 10 years, and it is now coming to an end. The city is more than willing to come up with options, but Baldwin County Sewer has been wanting to run a line under Fish River long before this agreement was put in place. They requested a Corps of Engineer permit to bore a 10-inch low-pressure sewer line under Fish River January 10th, 2003, which was due to expire March 19th, 2007, unless extended. This permit was given pursuant to the national permit previously granted to Baldwin County Sewer. To now blame the city for being forced to take the lines under Fish River is ridiculous and untrue. This plan is Baldwin County Sewer's decision and theirs alone. The city, again, has been and continues to be willing to discuss options. When it comes to making decisions, citizens can always count on me to stand firm on my beliefs and my decisions with transparent communication. You can also count on me to make decisions in a timely manner, not procrastinating because it's too political, and make the tough decisions even when it may not be popular. The third, my next town hall meeting is Tuesday at the Rotary Boys and Girls Club, 6 p.m. So not this Tuesday, but next. We'll be discussing Fairhope by the numbers, never discussed before, that are affecting our future, including critical information needed to plan for our rapid growth. On a lighter note, the Mayor's 29th golf tournament, which FIF organized, was Thursday with record participation and money raised. Congrats to everyone who worked this, and congratulations to FIF for their 20th anniversary, which is this year. A product of FIF's effort is the Black Box Theater, which I went and attended twice, the Les Mis play, and I do not have kids in that play. And it is 3 hours long because it's that good. And last, I want to share my condolences for Bill Baldwin, a longtime resident of Fairhope, Alabama, who passed away last week at his home surrounded by loved ones. He was a United States Air Force veteran and a member of the 908 Troop Carrier Squadron at Bates Field. Bill owned and operated the downtown fixture, Fairhope Hardware, and the Harbor Shop since 1973. He was past president of the Fairhope Rotary Club, Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce, and past vice president and director of the Fairhope Single Tax Corporation. Bill was a very active member of the Fairhope community and was respected and loved by everyone who knew him and will be greatly missed.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Next item on the agenda is public participation. This would be pertaining to items 6 through 25. Item 5 is a public hearing, so it's not applicable to that. If you would like to address items 6 through 25, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
Mac Douglas. We're here to ask you to save our creek, and we've all grown up on its banks. We swim, fish, kayak, and fly off rope swings and to the clear, ice-cold water. And we all have friends who rather come over to the creek and play than anywhere else. And fishing for bass, brim, mullet, crabs, or dozens of breeds of turtles and as many birds nest here and call us home. Even the occasional manatee family will venture up the creek. We love Fly Creek, and we're asking you to protect it. It's not just our creek, it's everyone's.
Okay. Thank you. Did you get that name, Lisa? Okay. All right, we can get it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Grant Murphy. These are our beautiful creeks with the huge apartments dwelling and the increased runoff and erosion that will devastate Fly Creek. This is our playground, and we want it to stay that way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby. Appreciate that.
Are these ours?
Did everybody get one? Okay. My name is Mitzi Murphy. I'm a resident of Fly Creek, and 4 of these are my children.
All of them?
I know 4. 4 of them are my children, and I just speak on behalf of the residents that live there and our children that with what has happened in the past, we know what the future holds for us on our creek if these apartments do indeed come. So We just ask you to please consider our lives there. The watershed there is very sensitive, and it's just very scary. So there's plenty of other land to develop. And I just thank you for considering just the living there and how much we love it and how much we just do not want to compromise what we have. So thank you very much. And if anybody wants to see booklets, we have some.
Thank you. Anybody else for public participation? Items 6 through 25.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Pastor Henry Crawford, and I pastor a church there on 409 South Ingleside Street. And for several years now, the residents along that street has been petitioning the city, because that is in the city limits, to do something about the infrastructure there. The drainage, every time it rains, the streets just overflood. The parking lot, and we have raised our parking lot, and yet now it is overflooding. All the way down Middle Street. It's just like a river when it rains. And the sad part about it, we was notified a few years ago that there were HUD money allocated to take care of that drainage. And upon finding later, 2 years later, the people that's supposed to be working on that project really never put forth an effort to pursue that. And now you have this new mayor. She has come in, and she has brought this to the table. And I've been coming to city council meeting here just about every month, every month. And I'm noticing that there's a lot of things are being said. And I've never seen so much disrespect among a group of men as you address the mayor. I've never seen that. And I have been a born-again believer. And I'm assuming that some of you guys are born-again believers. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Well, the Christ that I know, that behavior does not exist. Now, I can understand if you disagree with her about some things, that's understandable. But I can't understand why there is infrastructure that need to be taken care in this city, and it has been addressed for several years, and nothing has been done about it. Now, I just don't understand that, along with a lot of other things. And I understand that the city, there's a lot of other things going on in the city, and the city have to take care of a lot of other problems. I understand that. But yet, by the same token, there are other taxpayers, they problems need to be addressed. Am I right about it?
Lots of things need to be addressed.
I know, but that need to be addressed. How long, let me say this. How long do we have to, in the community where I live, where my church resides, have to keep coming here, telling you all this, and you never do nothing about it, but yet everything around it gets done? Does that make any sense? Now you're getting ready to put in a whole new project. That's, my God. I don't understand that. Now, and you don't have to give me an answer. Just think about it. That's all I got to say.
I'm going to ask you a question, Reverend
Right.
Crawford.
Mhm.
About 4 months ago, we were in a meeting down at the warehouse.
Yes, I remember that
The
precisely.
mayor basically fired Sarpsey, who was supposed to write that grant application.
Well, let me ask you
I
something.
want, sir,
Well,
let me
let me-
finish.
well, go
I want
ahead,
to
go
ask
ahead.
you what has happened since then, and what has been brought to the council for consideration.
Because you and this council, I've been here. And you can smile all you
I'm
want.
gonna smile.
Sarcy, whatever they were doing, do you think it takes people 2 long years to get in touch with HUD to, I mean, come on,
We didn't
man.
defend them. We didn't defend Sarpsey.
Well,
And we
so that's
didn't-
why
we
they
didn't-
was fired.
Okay, so what's happened since?
Okay, what
has been brought to us since? You're
okay, let me ask you.
saying that we're doing
well,
nothing, you're
well,
defending the
well,
mayor, playing the victim.
Wait a
What
minute.
has she done?
See, there
What
you.
has she done for you?
I'm gonna tell you like President Reagan said. There you go again. There you go again.
Whatever.
There you go again. There you go again.
You want to make me to be the bad guy? Go ahead.
I'm not trying to.
gonna
No,
back
no,
down
I'm not
because
trying
you're a
to.
pastor.
I'm not trying to.
You're blaming the council.
No,
I
no.
wanna tell-
Wait,
what's she
wait.
brought to us?
Wait, let me say.
What
this.
has she brought to
I'm
us?
not blaming them. I'm not defending the
Brought
mayor.
nothing to
No,
us.
no, I'm not defending the mayor.
Yes, you are.
Nuh-uh. This is what I'm saying. For 2 years, you've known about this. Why haven't you done anything?
No.
No, why haven't you done
This
anything?
was brought to the forefront.
No, this
4
has
months ago. Okay.
no. The previous mayor came out and walked those streets with us. The previous mayor walked those streets with us. One of the other guy that was in charge of I don't want to call his name, but you know who I'm talking about. He has been let go, but matter of fact, he resigned. But they walked those streets with us, and they saw the condition. As a matter of fact, they came out the day it was rain. We had a torrential rain, and they came out and they saw the water. It was ridiculous, and they admitted it. And don't tell me you didn't know nothing about it. It's okay if it had been 2 years, say 1 year. Why hadn't you done anything about it?
You know, honestly, this came to the forefront about 4 months ago. Sir.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah, God bless you too. You're out of order. It was not an agenda item, but I gave you the opportunity to speak anyway. Does anybody have anything to address on the agenda?
Number 6 on the agenda.
Okay.
Margaret Cadden, 129 Sandy Ford. I just want to remind y'all of the amount of people that have come previously to address this issue, the amount of citizens that have spoken out that they do not want these apartments behind Publix. The election came, and that was a huge topic to keep growth at a minimum. So when you think about the vote, I hope that you will consider the citizens that you represent and how they feel about those apartments.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Lee Fraley. I live at 213 North Circle. I appreciate this opportunity to express my feelings on this subject. This will be item 6 regarding the Fly Creek ordinance. The idea to construct an apartment complex behind the public store on Fly Creek is just a bad idea. Why is it a bad idea? Well, to begin with, the complex will fill an imaginary need for apartments in Fairhope. Furthermore, the location of this proposed apartment complex will further endanger Fly Creek. Traffic congestion created at the intersection of Parker Road and US 98 will become intolerable. The primary objection to the apartment complex is one of location. Nothing good can come to Fairhope residents by the developer being permitted to pursue apartments in this location. It's a bad idea. Remember that no matter how well a bad idea is executed, it's still a bad idea and with bad consequences. I implore you to reject all applications to construct apartments on the Cordy property east of the Fairhope Public Store. Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
You've kind of created a precedence this evening with regards to taking a little bit of an extension regarding items whatever to whatever but I'm going to focus on initially item number 6 and issues that relate to it in an ancillary way. Good evening, elected officials. When elected, you pledge to listen and work for the citizens of Fairhope. Please do that. Please keep your promises to make the wishes of the citizens who put you in office, like those of us here tonight, as an utmost priority. In the past, we have elected officials who ignored the wishes of the citizens. They only served one term. What are those wishes? No more building in Fairhope until the stability and mechanics of our beloved town can be addressed. No extensions. Our infrastructure is paramount. Follow the rules of Section 17-6 of the Fairhope Code of Ordinances regarding planning and development. That whole issue relates to the value of our community. Keep the lights on. Fairhope's success is based on tourism and tourists, as well as our citizens who love the beauty of our city at night during the holiday season. Countless numbers of people were so disappointed by the initial display, which was eventually fixed by Sherry Sullivan. Keep the library board. Section 13-2 of the Fairhope Code of Ordinances says the City Council has the power to establish a library. That is transparency, not the city taking control over something they know nothing about or that is another hire, an additional city expense. And lastly, keep civil. If Abraham Lincoln were here tonight, I'll bet he'd stand up and remind everyone, a house divided cannot stand. A philosophy which could very easily apply to you sitting on that stage. Good leadership is not confrontational, but rather collaborative and cognitive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charlene Jenkins, and what I have is not on the agenda. And I've been before you all before. I've been here all my life. I moved and came back. And in the black community, y'all have been unfair to us. You need to do the right thing. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Frank Wickline, and I live in Rock Creek. I've been attending these meetings now for over a year, having to do with the apartments on Fly Creek. It is opposed by everybody that lives there. No one is for this idea except the owners of the property and those that will be paid for developing this property. There is no support for them by the community, and in fact, they would like to see it defeated. However, I would like to add that there is a purpose for this, and that is to make money. Probably the highest and best use for that property is apartments. But that advantage will not flow to those of us who live here and have to deal with the results of it. Often these properties, after they're constructed, are sold to others for a big profit. And that's the purpose of these apartments. It is not, and I have yet to hear much of any support after over a year of the support of building these apartments. And for that reason, I think it's a bad idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Still on items 6 through 25. Is there anyone else?
Good evening. I thought I could keep quiet and just listen to everybody else, but evidently that's impossible. I hear everybody talking about the general issues, and I've been able to, really have it narrowed down to, I guess, the legal issues facing y'all. And I know that everybody here appreciates the job that you do and the legal issues that y'all face. So I'd like to just talk about, I think, the 4 issues that y'all are considering and whether or not to vote for the specific. I'm sorry, I'm Adam Milam at 116 Pecan Avenue. The issue that's facing y'all, I guess, on April 10th, and that is whether or not to extend the sunset provision in PUD 1572 in order to allow the developer more time to comply with the PUD amendment and the PUD requirements. The first thing that I want to be clear, and some of my clients are here, and the lawyers on the other side are here, is there's been some talk about the fact that in our lawsuit, the Friends of Fly Creek, there's a claim for damages. And if you vote to not extend the sunset provision, that somehow that would not resolve this case. I just want to be clear that if this project, if the sunset provision stays in force and ends the project, that ends the lawsuit. If the lawsuit goes forward, there's a claim for damages. However, your vote on not extending the sunset provision ends a lawsuit, ends legal expenses, period. That is for sure. The second thing that I've heard talked about is that voting on this sunset provision, what discretion, if at all, does the council have? And first of all, as y'all are well aware, y'all have broad discretion. Y'all are a legislative body, and you can make decisions in the best interest of the welfare of this community. This is clearly a decision that is within that y'all are making for the general welfare of the community, no matter how you decide. So you are protected under that immunity with discretion. This is not like the original PUD that has all kinds of procedural and substantive violations of the zoning ordinance and comprehensive plan. This is simply a vote on whether or not to extend the sunset provision. No zoning ordinances can be violated by your decision. You are completely protected in your discretion. So let that be clear. The second thing I've heard is that, well, we have this issue of a moratorium that was in place. And there's this decision out there with Magnolia Springs where there was an extraterritorial grab and a moratorium issue, and we're afraid that if we allow the sunset provision to stay, that we could be exposed to a lawsuit. In fact, maybe y'all have been threatened with that lawsuit. Well, I'm here, and y'all are free to ask me questions. I think that is completely bogus, and I'll tell you why. Several reasons. Factually, this PUD amendment to allow the apartments that will spill, and we all know about the non-point discharge and the red clay and all that into Fly Creek, was approved in April of 16. At that point in time, the developer had May, June, July, August, September to come up with a viable site plan that met the PUD amendment's criteria. The developer came up with a plan and submitted it in September of 16. That plan was found out to be illegal. It violated the PUD narrative. It was a point discharge system, and the Planning Commission denied it. The developer's failure to submit that site plan within that time period falls directly at the developer's feet. The developer then had November, December, still no viable site plan. Our lawsuit has no impact or preventing that developer to propose a viable site plan. That moratorium was enacted pursuant to the city's power, and y'all know it better than me, 2017. There is no moratorium lawsuit exposure, period. The threat's bogus. The case of Magnolia Springs, and I got a copy if you want it, was a property owner before the town was incorporated, wanted in Baldwin County, filed a subdivision plat application with the county. The town was incorporated six months later. And in order to prevent that subdivision from being developed in county property, they did an extraterritorial land grab of that in their jurisdiction solely to prevent it. And it went to a jury, but the court said cities are more than capable within their discretion to do moratoriums. But when you do an extraterritorial land grab, as if the city of Fairhope goes into a county where someone's already filed a plat application and grabs it and says, no, you're subject to ours, that was a jury question of whether or not it exceeded the city's authority. That's the decision. It's not just a general moratorium. You are not doing an extraterritorial land grab. You had consideration of the PUD process, PUD amendment approval, a PUD criteria that says, give us a viable site plan within a year, unless it goes away. They submitted one and they failed to do it. This is also not a subdivision plat application. This is simply, do you extend it, give new life to this bad project, which I think a lot of you agree is a bad project. The last thing I've heard is, well, we've been threatened that if we don't allow this and, the big developer is just going to, go get annexed into the city of Daphne. Again, that's just bogus. You got de-annexation issues. I have the statute, which I'm sure Mr. Wynn's well aware of, that, again, the city has absolute discretion in the, again, general welfare to deny de-annexation request. And there's plenty of case law on that issue. There's some far-flung ideas about you may expose yourself in very limited situations, not in this one. You also have contiguous land issues. The threat that a developer would say, if you don't do what I want, I'm going to go move to a different city, and I'm going to threaten to annex, that would really tick me off if I was a city council member, especially if it was bogus. This decision that is up to the city council is whether or not to extend the sunset provision. It's clearly within your discretion. You have the legislative power to do it. The developer doesn't want you to make that decision because he wants you to decide for him and force me and these citizens to go spend our time and money in fighting court where we're fighting an uphill battle with a very high standard of review that grants y'all all kinds of discretion in making decisions. Right now, y'all have the power legally, discretionary, to end this, to end the lawsuit. Make no mistake, it's in y'all's hands right now, and it's very important, and I hope that y'all make the right decision and don't kowtow to developer bluffs. And if y'all have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer. I know I talk a lot. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. When I came to the city council meeting tonight, I knew nothing about these apartments or whatever y'all talking about building up on Fly Creek. But what I want to say is that my family, the Horn family, Richard Horn, Bounder Horn, and my great-grandmother Hattie Horn, we owned that property, okay? And it was took from my family for $250,000. I know that has nothing to do with what y'all talking about, so I just want y'all to know how I feel, okay? I got $1,500 out of the deal. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor, Mr. President, council members, my name is Bob Wills. I live at 602 East 6th Street in Bay Minette. I appreciate this opportunity to address you this evening. As you know, it's my pleasure to be here on behalf of Arthur Cordy and Leaf River developers relative to the project that we have been talking about. We would just like to say that we thank you for reviewing your zoning laws and subdivision regulations and the moratorium and considering extending the sunset from the ordinance in question. I would not be so presumptuous as my counterpart who just spoke a moment ago to insinuate that your lawyers apparently don't seem to know what they're doing, so he had to lecture you all as to what the law is. Mr. Wynn, Mr. McDonald, and your other lawyers are very learned in the law and very well know the legal issues. Obviously, Mr. Milam is very prejudiced in his position on this, so I'm sure you take his comments for what they're worth. We're simply here to say we appreciate the fact that you are considering this extension. Under the circumstances that they have developed, we believe it is the fair and just thing to do, and we look forward to your consideration of this at the next council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name's Judy Bond. I live at 213 South Drive in Rock Creek. The amount of traffic, the amount of problems that we have, I don't know that you've considered or if the developer has offered any payback or any money for schools, for more schools, for hospital improvement, or for any more infrastructure. If you try to get out on 98 and go up and down there anytime during what's considered rush hour here, you just about can't make it. It's going to take you forever. With those 900 homes that are planned in Daphne, with the development that's going in out there across from the traffic light from the entrance to Rock Creek, with the addition of this apartment, condos, whatever they are, there's going to be so much congestion in that area, we're not going to be able to move. I don't know. Has there been any consideration or any ask for any give-backs from the developer for services here in town? Do you know of anything of that sort? Has he offered to build another school? Has he offered to help with the hospital parking or extensions there? I've heard of none of that. I think you really need to think twice. I think there are probably a lot of people here tonight who don't want to see this development happen. I'd like to say, if you don't want to see it happen, would you stand up? Could you even say so? Thank you very much. I didn't want to be standing here alone, and I don't think I am. I think our mayor's doing a good job. I don't know what... She does not have control over this. It takes a whole bunch of you. I hope you'll consider that. I voted for many of you. I don't want to have to change my mind.
My name is Maggie Mostiller, and I live at 207 South Mobile Street in Fairhope. I'm a little nervous, and I'm going to take some deep breaths. I appreciate all the work that each one of you does on behalf of our city. It seems to me number 6 on the agenda, really relates to not only the subdivision that you're talking about on Fly Creek and the issues that Judy just mentioned that don't seem to have been taken into consideration by the developer. But it also reverts back to the mayor's need for the hiring freeze to be lifted. Because until the sewer problems that we face now, until the stormwater problems and the flooding that we face now are addressed, why would you even consider adding more burden on that infrastructure? Thank you.
Thank you, good job.
Good evening. My name is Johnny Cheney, ex-community organizer. I just want to put this on record. I see you have the Boys and Girls Club on the agenda tonight. The Boys and Girls Club was given to the black community a long time ago by a guy by the name of Mr. Willie Bonner, when the black folks didn't have no place to go. The white folks had parks, and there has been a bogus deed made up by, I suppose, the ex-mayor. But I just want to put it on record that that deed is bogus deed. So that's all I wanted to talk about tonight, and I thank everybody. Everybody, I think you doing a wonderful job, but I would really like to hear you all listen to each other. You know, tongue and teeth fall out, but still in all, both of them still in your mouth.
Anyone else? Going once. Yeah, ma'am, and these are,
And I'm gonna make it quick. My name, again, is Shelleen Jenkins. All I have to say is, would you live where we live and go through what we go through? That's all I got to say. Would you live?
thank you. Anyone else? I'll now close public participation for agenda items and move on to council comments. Councilman Conyers?
Yeah, I've got several things to say. First, on a lighter note, I would like to say that about 5 minutes before the meeting started tonight, I got a call I called Councilman Robinson, who couldn't be here, and I would like to congratulate Councilman Jay Robinson and his wife Alex on the birth of their daughter, Greer Elizabeth Robinson. 6 pounds, 5 ounces, 20 inches long, and I think she was born about 10 or 15 minutes before our meeting started. So, very exciting times for him.
He had time to get here then.
Yeah, I told him to hurry up. But, also, just to address some of the theatrical things we've had going on in the community, to echo what the mayor said, the Fairhope High School Drama Department put on an incredible performance of Les Mis in the Black Box Theater that was paid for by FIF. They did a wonderful job. Bayshore Christian the week before put on The Wizard of Oz at the Fairhope United Methodist Church. That was fantastic. We have an awful lot of talent in this community, and coming up in April for the First Friday Art Walk, the Eastern Shore Repertory Theater is going to be out promoting the Theater on the Bluff, which will be held Mother's Day weekend in May, and that's going to be The Little Mermaid this year, the musical. But also, towards the end of First Friday Art Walk, again, the Fairhope Theater Department, they're going to be putting on a play. It's going to be Shakespeare Under the Stars at 7:30 at Faulkner's Outdoor Amphitheater. They're going to be putting on a performance of The Tempest. So come out and support them. We've got a lot of talent in this community, and I know they'd appreciate a good turnout. Secondly, I just wanted to put out that I know a lot of folks have reached out to us about the library, and as you heard tonight, that's not being included as a department of the city. So thank you for reaching out, and that was just an idea that had been floated out there, but I think we heard you, and that's not happening. So that pretty much sums up what I had to address tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Boone?
One thing is the Harbor Board's putting together a lease for the city concerning the harbor lease. It's be coming up in October. We should be hearing from them pretty soon. And the second thing, something a little more dear to my heart is this. If anybody missed the Special Olympics that were held up Friday at the Fairhope High School football field, you missed a tremendous opportunity to see a bunch of people, volunteers and kids, really in great action. The spirit of life is right there. And this is my 4th year there, and I'll have to admit the first year I went, I was a little hesitant in it because I felt you can go there and feel sorry for these kids. And let me tell you, that's not how you feel. You go down there and understand that these children are just doing all that they can do and just have a tremendous spirit of life about them. And I would highly recommend that to come next year, anybody that is able to participate, because it has been growing and growing and growing all 4 years. But if you're able to come out there and support these children. It is a great, great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Boone. I'm going to make one real quick comment. I've received a few emails concerning adding the Fly Creek PUD sunset provision to the agenda. I'll tell you there are a number of ways in which items get added to the agenda, and one of the ways is that I can add it to the agenda, or I can have the mayor and one council member add it to the agenda, or I can have two council members add this to the agenda. And I will tell you that this decision was not made solely by me. I don't make up all of the agenda. I'm the only person sitting up here that ever cast a no vote against the Fly Creek PUD. I want to make everybody aware of that. But there are concerns that we have, and it went out of the council's hands and into the Planning and Zoning Commission's hands. It went back into their hands again. And so we do have to consider all the ramifications and fairness to everyone in the city. We do have to uphold the law, and so we have had many sessions with our attorneys considering this. These decisions are not easy, nor are they fun. We don't relish these decisions. But just want to set the record straight that I'm not the only one. I'm not the reason that this is on the agenda, but it is on the agenda. I do not see action being taken on this tonight, but just to set the record straight, because there's a lot of stuff on social media. There's a lot of propaganda that's put out there. There's just a lot of misinformation that gets put out there. You know, I've been the target of many, many arrows over the last few months, and I'll tell you, I'm not shying away from anything. I've done my job to the best of my ability. I can take it all, bring it all on. Bring it on. I'm tough. So feel like I'm doing my job to the best of my ability. Ma'am, I want to speak to you after the meeting. Maybe you can learn a little bit about me and where I came from. You might be surprised to learn some facts about me. I didn't always have a tie. But I would love to speak with you afterward and get to know each other. That would be fantastic. Would that be okay with you? Thank you very much. Okay. With that, I'll close council comments, and we will move on to item number 5 on tonight's agenda. This is a public hearing. This is an application for a lounge liquor license by Christopher R. Capps for CRC Enterprises doing business as The Plow, located at 96 Plantation Point in Fairhope, Alabama. Chief Pettis, is everything in order on this application?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. We will now open the public hearing concerning this application. If you would like to speak for or against this application, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Anyone at all? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Council, do you have any questions? Any discussion for the chief? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the application.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the lounge liquor license application. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, the application is approved. Thank you, council. Item number 6 is an ordinance amending ordinance number 1572, known as the Fly Creek PUD, the sunset provision, paragraph 3A. Would a council member like to introduce the ordinance?
I'd like to introduce the ordinance.
Okay, the ordinance has been introduced. Council members, hearing, if I don't hear from you, this will lay over until the next council meeting, which will be the first council meeting in April. Hearing no action being wanted to be taken at this time, this will lay over to the next council meeting. Item number 7 is a resolution that the City Council approves the selection of engineering design technologies for the RFQ number PS 018-17, or professional engineering services for repairs to the Quail Creek Clubhouse, and authorize Mayor Karen Wilson to negotiate a fee schedule in a not-to-exceed figure. Entertain a motion, approve this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the selection of Engineering Design Technologies Incorporated. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay. Selection is approved. Thank you, council. Item number 8 is a resolution to award the bid for tree trimming services 2017 with a total bid proposal of $173.28 a unit hourly billing cost. Any questions for this would be for probably Dan, if anybody has any questions. If you don't, I'd entertain a motion to award this bid.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to award the bid for tree trimming services. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, bid has been awarded. Thank you. Item number 9 is a resolution accepting all the Fairhope's public utilities located in the right-of-ways within Battles Trace at the Colony, Phase 3 for maintenance, and to authorize Mayor Karen Wilson to execute the maintenance and guarantee agreement between the City of Fairhope and the Teachers Retirement System of Alabama. Council, do you have any questions for staff? Okay. Would somebody like to entertain a motion to accept these right-of-ways?
Make a motion, we accept the right-of-ways.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the right-of-ways. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, right-of-ways accepted. Thank you, council. Item number 10 is a resolution accepting all of Fairhope's public utilities located in the right-of-ways within Azalea at the Colony for maintenance, and authorize Mayor Karen Wilson to execute the maintenance and guarantee agreement between the City of Fairhope and the Teachers Retirement System of Alabama. Do you have any questions for staff? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept these right-of-ways.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting these right-of-ways and public utilities, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, resolution passes. Item 11 is a resolution that the City of Fairhope votes to purchase a fuel management system for the Public Works and the Golf Departments in the amount of $39,880. The requested fuel management system is available for direct procurement through the National Joint Powers Alliance buying group contract. Therefore, it does not have to be let out for bid. The total cost of $39,880. Kind of repetitive. Been nationally bid through the NGPA's bid process. Somebody like to entertain a motion to purchase this system?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to purchase the fuel management system. Any further discussion?
I think it might be good just for someone to explain to the citizens sort of what this is and what the anticipated savings would be from
Mr. Ames, do you have that?
This is a system for fleet management as well as fuel management. It slides between the two. The fuel management, it consists of a swipe card system or a key system at the pump, which will allow the fuel to go into the vehicle, but it also takes information and transmits it to a computerized system for the management of the fleet. This will also help flag people that are driving vehicles that are not turning them in for service on the prescribed times. When they're not doing that, they're putting additional wear and tear, like the oil not being changed and running it to death. The fleet manager is way behind doing this system. He is very much in support of it. It is for those reasons. Many others on that side. On the fuel side, I'll give you an example. One of our nearby cities 4 or 5 years ago put in a similar system, a smaller city than us. And I was in a meeting with the guy, I said, how's it going? He said, we've had it 2 months. We've reduced our fuel cost 50%. I said, 15%? He said, no, 50%. And we fired someone that was stealing fuel. And,
Hopefully that won't be the case here.
So, no, but it's a come to Jesus type deal when they swipe that thing, and it better be that person. It also will eliminate, there are means in this system to help eliminate handing out a card for a vehicle and putting fuel in another vehicle or another implement. This is the start of the process. And, this is going to control some of the fuel at the golf course and Public Works building down the road. There are additions to this system that can be made over time, and we are going to recommend possibly, if it fits correctly, with putting in additions to it that will allow better tracking on the new vehicles. There are devices that will fit in the vehicle where the person doesn't even touch anything. They pick up the hose and put it in the vehicle. It knows them. It knows their, the car knows what's going on, and it transmits that data electronically to the computer, and it says, okay, this is a good match. He can fuel it. And there are good things to come with this. So we highly recommend, there were 2 or 3 of us that studied this, Jeff Montgomery in IT, myself in purchasing, and Tim Bung in fleet management. And we were all highly impressed. The company that we're recommending does the U.S. government military worldwide.
Thank you. I look forward to hearing about the results.
Yes, sir.
Too much down the road.
Any other question?
Okay. Any further questions, council? Okay, I believe we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the purchase, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, purchase is approved. Thank you, council. Item number 12 is a resolution that certain items are declared surplus and that the mayor and city treasurer are hereby authorized and directed to dispose of personal property owned by the city of Fairhope by receiving bids and being sold to the highest bidder. Council, if you turn back to that tab, you'll see the 74 items that are being declared surplus. If you'd like any of those explained, wait till tomorrow. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve these being declared surplus?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to declare these items surplus. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, we're free to sell them. Thank you, council. Item number 13 is a resolution to award the bid for maintenance elevators, which are 4 citywide for 2017, with a total bid proposal of $450 per month. Council, do you have any questions for staff on this? I can tell you, having had a little bit of experience in this, that's not a bad price. Any questions for staff?
Nope.
Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to award this bid.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to award the bid for maintenance of the elevators. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, bid is awarded. Thank you, council. Item 14 is a resolution to approve the procurement of flower plantings for the remainder of the fiscal year for the Public Works Department, the total cost being $90,181.79. Any questions for staff? Okay, hearing no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve these purchases.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the procurement of flowers. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, flowers plantings are approved. Item 15 is a resolution that Mayor Karen Wilson is hereby authorized to execute a contract with Goodwin Mills Kaywood to perform professional architecture services for repairs to the library structure for RFQ number PS 016-17 with a not-to-exceed amount of $49,631. Any questions for staff, council? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to execute the contract. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, resolution passes. Thank you, council. Item number 16 is a request of the Fairhope Arts and Crafts Festival Committee and Foundation requesting permission to block the streets for their annual Arts and Crafts Festival on March 16th, 17th, and 18th, 2018. No parking after 5 p.m. Signs will be placed on Thursday morning on March the 15th, and adequate city personnel to provide for a successful festival. Is there a motion to grant this request?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to grant the request. Just one comment. I was talking to Ms. Botop prior to the meeting about this, and I know that there were some downtown merchants that were a little bit confused about what they could put out in front of their shops. Could they put it on the sidewalks? Can they put it out on the streets? Can they put it on the city's right-of-ways? And I had asked her, and I believe they actually have a committee formed just so that everybody is in the know and the merchants are educated. And if we need to tend to some of their needs, I think we need to be respectful because we're trying to attract people to the city, but you do that because you want to introduce people to the city and also help the local merchants out. We want the artists to have a great show. We want them to do very well, but we also want our businesses to do well. So whatever it is that we need to do to educate them about the do's and don'ts, because when they find out the day of the Arts and Crafts Festival by a policeman, sometimes it ruffles their feathers, and if we can just educate them all, it'd be fantastic and give them a little leeway. Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second to grant the request. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, request is granted. Thank you, council. Item 17 is a request from Kate Fisher of the Eastern Shore Art Association approval of a fundraising dinner on April the 27th for street closures at Oak Street between Section and Bancroft from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and the use of barricades. Alcohol will only be served inside the building pursuant to ABC rules. Entertain a motion to grant this request from the Eastern Shore Arts Center.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, request is granted. Thank you, council. Item 18 is an application for a nonprofit tax-exempt license or an alcoholic beverage license by Sharon Deering for the Eastern Shore Art Association's Putting on the Grits, a fundraising dinner to help the Arts Center with its education programs, exhibits, and public art projects located at 401 Oak Street, Fairhope, Alabama, on April the 27th, 2017, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Chief Pettis, is everything in order on this application?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Council, do you have any questions?
I guess this event's been in the Civic Center in prior years, but now it's going to be moved out in front of the Art Center. I guess
That's what it looks like.
All right.
Okay.
It's a good event. Attend it.
It is, yeah. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve this application.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the application. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please say aye if you're in favor. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, the application is approved. Item 19 is a request from Elizabeth Stone of the Fairhope Rotary Club Foundation for approval of the Rotary Steak Cook-Off on May the 12th, 2017 for street closures, Bancroft Street between Fairhope Avenue and Morphy, and Johnson Street between Section and Bancroft from 3 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., and approval to allow alcohol on the city streets. Everything in order on this application, Chief?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, this is not a new event, council. Somebody make the motion to grant this request.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to grant the request. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, request is granted. Item 20 is an application for a nonprofit tax-exempt license or an alcoholic beverage license by Chad Clark for the Fairhope Rotary Club Foundation for the annual steak cook-off located on Bancroft Street at Fairhope Avenue to Morphy Street in Fairhope, Alabama on May 12, 2017 from 3 to 11:30 p.m. That sounds familiar. Somebody entertain a motion to approve this application.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Chief Pettis, is everything in order with this application?
Yes, sir, this one's fine, too.
I don't know about that first reference on there. That's Mayor Wilson. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this application. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, and the application is approved. Item 21 is an application for a nonprofit tax exempt license or an alcoholic beverage license by John Matus Jr. for the Point Clear Rotary Club for the 2017 Taste of Rotary located at 161 North Section Street, Fairhope, Alabama, on April the 18th, 2017, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Chief Pettis, everything in order?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Council, I'll entertain a motion to approve this application.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Take your choice, clerk. We have a motion and a second. Any final discussion?
Need to wink at one another.
You guys are doing good. Okay. Hearing no final discussion, all those in favor of approving this application, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, application is approved. Item 22 is a request from Ricky Ritchie, Lower Alabama Multisport Incorporated, for the Jubilee Kids Triathlon, requesting permission to block the streets. This would be South Mobile Street and North Beach Road, the use of the park on the south end of the pier, and the use of barricades for the Jubilee Kids Triathlon on June the 4th, 2017, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Do I hear a motion to grant this request?
So moved.
Second.
You have a second? Chief, do you know of any reason to deny this application? No. Okay. Council, any final discussion? Okay, hearing no final discussion, all those in favor of granting this request, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, request is granted. Item 23, Environmental Advisory Board appointment. The nominee for a 4-year term is Nicole Love. The term shall end March 2021. Do I hear a motion to approve this appointment?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I'm going to assume the advisory board approved of this nomination. Is that correct? They did. Okay.
Yes, they did.
Clerk says that they did. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of this appointment, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay. Board appointment is approved. Item 24 is a personnel board appointment. The nominee is Douglas, also known as Barney Kazort. Term shall end December 2022. This is a 5-year term. See a letter from the chairman of the Personnel Board making the recommendation in here. Council, I'll entertain a motion to approve this appointment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this appointment. Any further discussion?
Yes, it says December. We actually brought Mr. Resort here. We'd like to introduce him to you tonight. Lorenzo and I did. Can we come up for 2 minutes?
Yes. Would you like for us to vote first?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Now you're free to.
It could have been really embarrassing if you had voted no, huh?
That could have been.
Lorenzo and I just wanted to introduce Doug Resort to y'all, the newest member, and we asked him to tell you a little bit about himself in 2 minutes or less.
I thought the fact that you were voting already would get me out of this, but it evidently didn't. So my wife and I moved here in 2008, retired here, and I've been working out at a certain gym and got to know Rob Stankowski the last few years, and one day I guess he figured he could safely ask me to volunteer on a committee that meets once a month, and I wouldn't mess anything up. I'm a former Marine officer. I also taught at the college level, and I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was platoon commander and company commander in Vietnam. And my other major claim to fame is called Under the Grammar Hammer, the 25 most important grammar mistakes and how to avoid them. And I'm writing a sequel called Jack Be Nimble, Jack Don't Stammer, Jack Jump Over the Grammar Hammer by Douglas Kazort, author of Under the Grammar Hammer. And the subtitle is The Last Grammar Book You Will Never Need, because it's about how I should face the audience since I'm selling my books now, but, and it's just about how the computers are getting ready to disrupt the whole grammar book industry and make it unnecessary. Hooray. Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to working with our new members.
Item 25 are two appointments to the Airport Authority. We'll do these one at a time. The first one would be appointing Blake Waller to take the place of Pam Caudell, whose term expires March 2017. This term shall end March 23rd. I would like to take a moment to say that the Airport Authority voted unanimously to keep Ms. Caudell. We've looked over Mr. Waller's qualifications. It's very, very honorable. Mean no offense to him. However, when we have people that have served on the authority that want to continue to serve, I think that we should respect that, the Airport Authority's recommendation, the unanimous recommendation to keep the existing board member. So,
May I make a comment before we even start?
yes, sir, I did. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
I appreciate that. I think this came up about 2 weeks ago, and I had brought up a proposed compromise that we take one of the existing board members and nominate them to an additional 6-year term and approve one of the mayor's nominees, which technically she would need to nominate the existing member to fill that slot. But I can see us doing this for the next 4 years, coming back every 2 weeks with the same two people and the same two people on the board wanting to stay. And I think that will get old, and I don't think that even the people that are serving in that capacity, they're highly qualified. The folks the mayor has proposed are highly qualified. You have 4 extremely qualified individuals for 2 slots, and I just think that even the members of the Airport Authority, that will get old if every 2 weeks there's a proposal to replace them. And to the people that are being nominated that are citizens of the community, they're good people too, it's going to get old every 2 weeks to have their names brought back up. And I just think for the sake of everyone involved, if we can come up with a in-between compromise and move on down the road, that'd be best for the city, best for the Airport Authority. And I understand, Jack, I understand your personal reason for not wanting to do that. You serve on the Airport Authority, and I think that you've been unfairly targeted, and I don't think that anyone should be questioning your ethical standards. I know you to be a good person, and all the stuff that's going on at the airport. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was reading how there's a city, police, Airport Authority drug operation going on out there now, and you know, it's just, well, go read it. It's comical, but you know, these are good people that are doing good work to try to help their city. And I think that for the sake of everyone involved, if we can meet in the middle and move forward and just let this issue be done. We've handled the refi, and that's done. There's no reason to keep batting this ball back and forth over the net for the next 4 years. That's my proposal.
Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion to make the appointment of Blake Waller to replace Ms. Pam Caudell.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Hearing no second, the motion fails for lack of a second.
It'll be on the next agenda
I'm
when
sure
Jay
it
and
will.
Robert
I'm
will
sure
be
it
here.
will. You don't respect the Airport Authority at all. Okay.
I do, which is why I'm
Next
trying to nominate
nomination
good
will be for
people.
Christine Kiernan, replacing Mr. Vince Booth, whose term expires March 2017. I would say the same thing. It's like a great appointment. However, Mr. Booth was filling a vacant term. He only served a year. He's heavily involved, and once again, the Airport Authority voted unanimously to recommend he be reappointed. And no offense to Ms. Kiernan. If there was an opening, I would gladly put her on there.
We do need to say that the nomination for this appointment is the mayor's.
That's
So
correct, and the
you
vote's
have-
taken by the council.
Right, but I didn't nominate the 2 existing, and I think it is fair for, you know, what Conyers is saying, that we, you know, meet in the middle, because really these appointments, I bring you suggestions and then you vote on those suggestions. I did not reappoint the 2 existing, so.
I would really like for you to renominate them, and then it would pass. I mean, that's it would be great if you would take the airport authority's recommendation, but your disdain for the airport authority is very apparent. All right, council, I will accept a motion for the appointment.
So moved.
We have a motion to appoint Christine Kiernan to replace Mr. Vince Booth. Do we have a second? The motion fails for lack of a second. Thank you, council. Next item, public participation. If you have anything else to bring forth before the council, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Kelly Eby. I live at 9828 Chariot Avenue. I don't appreciate, Mr. Burrow, that you called our mayor a victim, and you sat here just now and attacked her and put her in that role. You owe all of Fairhope an apology for that.
I'm just doing my job, ma'am. Sorry you
You're
don't see
not
it
doing
that
your
way.
job when you call people names.
I didn't
And
call
when you
anybody
throw
a
them
name.
down like that.
I didn't call
That is
anybody a
not
name.
professional.
Okay, it's professional to try to file lawsuits against to
We're
say
not
that
talking
the
about that. I'm
council is
talking
doing
about how you
unlawful
attack
acts, and then
her.
get on social media, and then send emails and copy emails from the council and put it out in
Put
your
it,
own
make it an
personal
agenda
emails. But
item,
that's
Jack.
professional.
Make
That's
it an agenda
professional.
item and we'll talk about it, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
But tonight, in front of everyone in Fairhope and on the video, you called her out. You owe us an apology
It's,
because we
long-
voted for
It's long
her.
overdue for her to be called out on that.
You've done a good job of doing it since November,
Very good. I'm
Sunshine.
glad I did.
And it's about time you stop. And your attitude is the reason why we want new people on that airport authority board.
Okay.
You're not going to do anything about that. I
took my
support
vote up
every
here.
nomination she's made because they're valid people by your own words, but
They
you
are.
want your
And
own
as soon as
people
we
on
have
that
an opening, I'll
board.
be more than happy to
And
put 'em
you've
on
got someone else over here who's voting your way, even though you got Mr. Conyers willing to compromise. No one else is willing to compromise. Right?
When the compromise is made, let us know. It's not made today. There's no compromise on this sheet. Thank you.
Because you didn't second to vote,
No compromise on it. Both were her appointees, man. Both of them.
which you've all said are excellent candidates.
Why is it that we're not compromising when we have the authority to vote? Why is it that it's the council that is not compromising? Why can't the mayor take the unanimous
How many other
vote
members
of
are
the airport
remaining?
authority, 6-0?
Why should
But yet
she?
she rejects their recommendation.
Because there's all this negative attention on the airport authority. Ethics have come into question. We are
For no reason
concerned about
whatsoever.
it.
For no reason whatsoever.
Show us. Show us that there's no reason
There's
whatsoever.
nothing to show.
Show it to us.
Okay,
But
thank you for
don't.
your comments.
Excuse you? That's not okay. Get up to the mic. Don't address me in public like that.
Is there anyone else?
My name is Ed Hall. I live on Dove Lane on your Gov Deals thing. I contacted Lisa Hanks a little bit too late. You had 74 items on there. Is there any way we can put 75 on there so I can get rid of 45 stackable chairs that came from the Nick Center?
We can get a vote. Council cannot get a vote to amend the agenda to add a 75th item to the surplus items.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the agenda. All right, Press, you're going to write us up for this? All right, any discussion? There's how many folding chairs?
45. No, stackable chairs.
Stackable, used stackable chairs?
Very used.
Very used stackable chairs. Okay, I have a motion and a second to amend the agenda to reconsider the vote on the surplus items to add the stackable chairs. All those in favor of amending the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, we're going to amend the agenda. And I believe that we can just declare the 45 items as surplus and put them on govdeals.com. So if somebody wants to entertain a motion to add the stackable chairs to the surplus items list, declare them surplus, and have them put up for bid on govdeals.com, somebody can make that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Wonder what the market is for 45 very used stackable chairs.
I don't know. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Thank you.